So today we are going to be talking about in a second the Voice of the Galaxy update, but I do want to say very quickly that this video isn't going to be exactly what you're thinking. It is not going to be about me talking about each different thing that's inside this update, which if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions real quick about this, because this is going to be a different video, not really, taking all the time to just speak on what this is. I'm pretty sure you've seen so many other creators talk about this and basically fawn over it, because yes, it is an amazing update. My thoughts and opinions on it very quickly is that yes, I am super happy that they're looking into Endgame. I'm super happy that they're making a lot of quality of life changes for this game. It is a lot of really cool stuff for not only players that are playing Honkai Star Rail, but also for content creators as well, because it gives us more things to grind out. It gives us more things to talk about, which is a really good thing. And I hope that they keep doing this as they go on with this game, adding more modes, making things a little bit more challenging, which we've seen with them doing either a brand new mode entirely, which was the Pure Fiction, I think that's what it was called, and then they also gave us a little bit more of difficult content, which is MOC 11 and 12 floor. So really cool stuff. I'm very happy about it. But today I do want to talk about something different from what everyone else has been going on about, which is I think some people are missing their mark when it comes to talking about why Honkai Star Rail is getting these end game, these more challenging stages versus Genshin Impact, because I know that it's a hot topic and I think some people are misunderstanding or misinforming their audience when it comes to why this is so. And I have the actual reason why, in my honest opinion. I'm pretty sure this is why. Now, I'm not a developer, I'm not making the game myself, so what I'm saying is just as, I guess you could say, reliable as your other favorite creators. But I do want to say, as a person who's played every single HoYoverse game from Honkai Impact 3rd to Genshin Impact to Honkai Star Rail, I kind of know the way around how they work with these games, and I understand where they're going with Honkai Star Rail versus why they're not doing the same thing with Genshin Impact. And that's what this video is going to be about today. So I do want to talk about really quickly why we're getting this in Honkai Star Rail, which I said is a very good thing. But when you think about the endgame updates, when it comes to the Memory of Chaos that we're going to be getting on the extra floors 11 and 12, of course this means that it's going to get harder, and this of course means that the things are either going to get higher in level. There's maybe going to be more mobs, maybe more tanky mobs, a lot of really cool stuff that can happen when it comes to whatever these two stages bring. Maybe they might give us nerfs like we've been wanting in the podcast, which if you haven't been watching, you might as well go start watching those podcasts, because we basically predict the future, because we've been talking about all these things beforehand. So it's a really nice thing to see all these things we've been talking about get put into the game. So if you don't listen to it, I'm pretty sure HoYoverse does. So if you want to see what's going to come up in the next updates, look at those podcast episodes in the description. But like I said, really good thing that we're seeing Memory of Chaos, and also a really good thing that we're going to see a almost endless mode as long as you're able to defeat enemies with the Pure Fiction mode. These are really good things, but people are misunderstanding why we're getting these things rather than, of course, Genshin Impact. And I just want to go ahead and say, is because we have nothing else. Genshin Impact, of course, as everyone should know, or if you haven't played it, is an open world game with a lot of exploration, a lot of quests. The story is amazing. There's a lot of things to do outside of the Spiral Abyss, which would be our MOC, or it would be our endgame content. For them, their Spiral Abyss isn't their whole game. They can explore, they can get their world exploration up to 100% in all these big different regions. They can go chest hunting, they can go resource farming, they can go basically clear out the whole map for mats if they want. They can try infinite combos with all the characters that they want. There's a lot of different things that you can do in Genshin Impact that don't revolve around the end game combat, which of course they're neglecting, which we've seen from an interview that we're going to be talking about in a quick second. For Honkai Star Rail, the reason why we're getting these modes, the reason why they're adding more MOC, the reasons why they're adding a brand new mode for combat wise, is because after you finish the story, after you finish the side quest, we don't have the same options as Genshin Impact when it comes to what you can do afterwards. That is not combat. Overworld grinding and open world grinding is literally restricted to just the enemy spawns or enemy routes that we have in the game to grind XP, and that's basically it. We don't get the same amount of freedom that Genshin Impact has with their vast world, with how much they can do in their world. We don't get the same options as them. That's why we are getting these so quick, because this is the only thing they can add besides adding a new 2D map, I'm just gonna say, where you can't really do much besides find a couple of chests that are there, maybe kill the enemies, and then you're done. Now Genshin has a much expansive world. They have all the things that you can do. Like I said, you have more options when it comes to overworld farming and overworld things that you can do in Genshin Impact. So them going ahead and giving us these end game contents in Honkai Star Rail is basically all that they can do to keep us happy. And another thing that we need to talk about when it comes to why they're giving us these challenging modes already is because I'm pretty sure, besides the fact that what I've been saying, where these are the only options they can really give us, we are, in my honest opinion, a lot more challenging with the content that we've been through versus Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact, yes, people can 30 star the Abyss. Yes, people can do it with all sorts of challenges, but these are usually just the content creators, and these are usually just the, you know, top of the top when it comes to doing the Spiral Abyss. But in Honkai Star Rail, you cannot lie, where we literally make every character, no matter what, whether we think they're bad, whether we think they're good, whether we need to put them to the test, they will always have to zero cycle as a guideline for us to say that they're good. Now, of course, not every character needs to be put through that. There's a lot of different exceptions, and a lot of people care about that. But when you look through YouTube, when it comes to Genshin Impact versus Honkai Star Rail, there is a vastly different amount of content when it comes to fun gameplay versus challenging gameplay. And for Honkai Star Rail, you see non-stop showcases of zero cycles, of being able to clear it in, you know, one turn or something like that, or being able to one-shot a whole wave with an ultimate, or using characters that are 4 stars that are not supposed to be performing as good as the 5 stars, zero cycling MOC. That thing doesn't exist in Genshin Impact as much as it does in Honkai Star Rail, and it's rightfully so. Like I said before, with the options that we have in the game, there's not really much else for us to do besides Swarm, Simulated Universe, MOC. These are mainly the only things keeping us going when we don't have story, when we don't have a new region to get those quick chests. That's all we can do. Genshin Impact, they have the same thing. They have their story, they have their side quests, they have a big expansive world where they can resource grind, where they can do all of these different things with unlocking new areas, finding new things, making their exploration reward or progress for that land 100%. There's more things you can do, and it's more time intensive in Genshin Impact as well. So looking at those things, that is why we're getting more in-game content for this, because when it comes to being able to do more things after you're done with the story and after you're done exploring that small little area with the chest, there's nothing else that we can do. Same thing with Honkai Impact. We basically didn't have an open world we do now with the new story stuff, but before it was just stages, and you know, you beat the stage, you get taken out, you put back to the menu, you're done. So they added PvP, they added Elysian Realm, they added more modes that were more grindable so that you could keep the, I guess you could say, users on the app for longer. So having these things is going to benefit them if you add in more, I guess you say, competitive or more challenging combat. In Genshin, most people aren't looking for that. There's a thing that we do need to notice, is that HoYoverse knows what they're doing. If they're not adding more in-game content for Genshin Impact when it comes to the challenging wise of it versus Honkai Star Rail and Honkai Impact, is because they probably have data looking at that, seeing that a lot of users are probably not even doing Spiral Abyss, that a lot of users aren't even 30 starring the Abyss, or can even beat it on time, or can even get to the 10th, 11th floor. And when they see that, why bother using the resources to do so if the majority of your player base isn't going to be able to clear it in the first place, or wants to clear it? Yes, and I'm part of that group too. I want there to be more challenging content in Genshin Impact 1000%, just because I love being able to put my teams to the test. But in a company standpoint, if the minority of people that are playing the game want in-game content, want that more challenging content versus, let's say, the 90%, the 95% that can't even finish floor 12, there's kind of no reason for that. But when you look at Honkai Star Rail and you got everyone zero cycling, that's the guideline for every character, that's how you showcase the character, you can see why we ended up getting something more challenging a lot more quicker than Genshin Impact. And really quick, what I want to talk about really fast, because I know this is something that a lot of people have brought up, and I don't think a lot of people had read this right, in my honest opinion, which is when they talked about in this interview that everyone, and I mean everyone in the HoYoverse sphere saw, where they said they weren't going to add endgame content to Genshin Impact. That is not what they said. They said that they weren't going to be adding another Spiral Abyss version to, I guess you could say, Genshin Impact as endgame content, because the timed aspect of the Spiral Abyss is what they're saying is giving players anxiety and, you know, causing them to worry. That's what they're talking about. They're not going to make Spiral Abyss version 2. That's what they're trying to say when it comes to endgame content. They reference the TCG card game that they have in the game as endgame content, which it is. You can PvP, you can build your deck, you can grind the enemies, or I guess you say the people that you fight in the overworld for the currency so you can go back to PvPing. That is a form of endgame. Of course, it's not what people want, but it's clearly what we're going to be getting because of the difference in audience when it comes to who's going to be playing what in each game. You know, if we got a card game in Honkai Star Rail, we might not see, you know, people playing it as much as, let's say, if they added some type of leaderboard system to Honkai Star Rail. While for Genshin Impact, some people might enjoy the card game versus being able to go against other people in a leaderboard fashion based on how fast you beat the Spiral Abyss in time. There's just a lot of things that we don't know because HoYoverse has the data. They know what they're doing. And also, as I said before, this is all we got. In all honesty, in Honkai Star Rail, when you look at it in actuality, we do not have a lot to do in this game besides MOC, besides Swarm, besides Simulated Universe. And this is the truth, you know, in all honesty. We don't have a lot of the freedom that Genshin has and a lot of the, you know, all the things that we could possibly run around and do and waste our time with. And it's not that time intensive because yes, we can auto, we have characters that one-shot stuff and all that at this point. And we're constantly zero cycling. We're constantly making these teams even more broken than they have to be, especially with characters like Jingliu, Don Hung, HoYoverse, all these characters coming that are going to be absolutely nasty. They're going to end up ramping the difficulty in this game for sure. And the fact that we don't have anything else to do, they're going to just go ahead and be like, all right, we're going to make the stuff that you already were grinding a little bit more difficult to satisfy you for now. And I'm pretty sure as time goes on, we're going to get more MOC stages. We might maybe get another mode in terms of challenging content or end game grinding content for Honkai Star Rail, and I'd be super excited for that. But as I said before, there's a reason why Genshin Impact doesn't have it, why Honkai Star Rail has it, and why Honkai Impact has it, why they have their challenging content while Genshin Impact doesn't, is because the audience doesn't want it. And the people that you do hear talking about, you know, I want challenging content for Genshin Impact, I want challenging content for this, these are the minority. A lot of the players that are playing Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact, most of them, in all honesty, you're not going to see a majority of them online looking at subreddits, looking at meta guides for all of these different characters. They're probably just chilling, playing the game, getting off, going to work, going to sleep, going to school, and then coming right back and doing the same thing. You have to just think about that. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think when it comes to challenging content coming into Honkai Star Rail and all the updates we're getting. I'm very excited for it. I'm very happy for it. And let me know if you're playing Genshin Impact, what you think about challenging content coming to that game if it ever does. I'm 100% for it. I know some other people might not. I was looking through comments on Reddit and on other discussion posts when looking up this topic of discussion. A lot of people don't really like doing challenging content in Genshin Impact because it actually does stress them out and make them mad. So it's cool to see the different perspectives. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.